Welcome, Philly Uncensored Sports Podcast. We back at you with another video. Catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, iTunes, and coming soon, the Instagram. Instagram. Sound like an old head. But we here after a pretty decent Sixers victory over the Clippers by a 3-point win that really went down to the wire. We know they ain't had their best player, Kawhi Leonard. We didn't have our second best player, Tobias Harris. But nonetheless, a win is still a win, especially when we know how bad we need first place locked up going into the playoffs. And I was watching just real quick. And the reason why I say that, we all know they play better at home. Obviously, ain't no secret. But I think it's even mental at this point with the team because Joel Embiid mentioned that in pregame how that's what they were shooting for, playing for that home seed. And he was like, we'd have had it 2 years ago against Toronto. Who knows how this thing would have ended. So the players are confident in that home court advantage. So at this point, it's even beyond just a good, decent home court showing. It's a mental thing. I think they get a lot of energy from it. But all that being said, they won the game. It was huge. Joel Embiid did his part. What's your thoughts?
You know what? I've come to a realization now. I'm gonna put my homer hat on for a second, right? Because I ripped the Sixers a little bit with the Nets game, and I felt some kind of way about the Lakers game, like when we won it, but they came back. But I'm my homer hat. The Sixers are winning some tough games, tough battle games against tough teams.
Yep.
I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, and when I get past the point that we had this big lead that got dwindled down, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact of our bench, we still don't have a real backup point guard. And when we come in and our bench comes in, and it doesn't help when we move Korkmaz to the starter, and it even messes up our rotation a little bit more. But would I like them to handle their business on this? Yeah, but when it comes down to it, they did. And B carried us. We need all our players to win in the playoffs. We can't afford to have nobody chilling, you know what I'm saying, in the playoffs. We need all our three, our quote unquote big three, our top three to be there.
Who's our big three?
Ben, Embiid, and Tobias.
Okay.
But you don't agree with that?
We got a big two.
And thus it begins. What's wrong with our big three? We
won't let you have a big three. Ben has to be more aggressive, man. I'm sorry. He has to like during ups and downs when you got these swing teams gonna make runs, man. Teams gonna make runs. But as you've seen, they were double and tripling Embiid, and nobody else could score the ball. That's the issue. Shake hit a huge shot too. Probably not hats off to Shake.
Oh, that was nice.
We
was trailing at that point.
Yeah, he just ought to because he was stinking all game.
He was a little bit off.
Listen, man, that was a shot and he made it, so I can't hate on him. Court played too, but I just Ben to me sometimes he gets too pass happy. And it's hard to say I want to get more aggressive because when he gets aggressive, he starts committing charges and stuff. So, I guess that's something he's going to have to. We got to live with it this year. I guess it's something he's going to have to work on next year.
Yeah, I guess 2 steals and 2 blocks don't mean nothing. That's everyday work for everybody. So,
Why? Listen, you can't. I just got to say this.
You can't.
This is why people like Wayne and guys that keep encouraging this nonsense is why Ben Simmons will never get better. The worst thing that happened to Ben Simmons is he made the All-Star team. That is the totally worst thing that happened to this guy because he thinks he made it already.
Let me ask you something. Do you feel like you have a problem? Do you feel because we came with nobody even really was bigging up Ben Simmons? We just talking about is he not a part of our big three? I'm just saying that we need all hands on deck in the playoff.
Yeah, I don't think he's part of big three. Nope.
Any opportunity to try to rip this man down unnecessarily.
All right, before we get into the Ben bashing, can I just give my commentary on what I appreciate that.
Listen, we won the game. I just want to see more. I just want to see a more aggressive Ben. I don't want to see you running to the lane and passing.
All right. So the Clippers came into the game as a hot team. I think they won like 6 of their 6 games in a row. They was hot. They are the number 1 3-point shooting team in the league. So them coming back and bombing away was not a mistake. That's just who they are. If y'all remember when we played them 3 weeks ago, they killed us right off the bat because they were just killing us with 3-pointers. So the fact that we were able to get up early pretty much saved us this game. But I have to give props to the MVP. I know he missed 18 games, but to me, Joel Embiid is proving that he is 1 or 2 as far as the MVP of the league.
Hold on.
But I will say, as far as my but Ben Simmons, that's my dude. I rock with him. I bang with him. And he made a lot of good plays within the game. And especially I thought in the fourth quarter when they finally put him on Paul George, that was a good thing. I think he should have had a little bit more time on Paul George in the first half because that's when he was smoking us, especially in that third quarter. He just went bananas for some reason. And so I thought Doc should have put him on there. But as far as Ben, he has to be more aggressive. I do agree with you, Ethan. He has to be more aggressive. He has to shoot more and look for his shot at some point in the game. Not the whole game because you're still the facilitator. But sometime during the game, I need you to be like, you know what? It's my turn to let B chill and let me go get buckets.
Hold on, my bad. Before I get into that, I ain't really get to before I get into that Ben ripping out. We did well. I want to see more of Maxey. I love what I seen from Maxey tonight. You know what I mean? That's what we've been talking about all year. And I'm sorry, man. Seth might have to lose some minutes to that kid, man. He can create his own shot. You got to let him get comfortable shooting the three. His three's not that great. Wayne brought that up. What is he, 27, 28%? But I think getting him some more minutes, man, it'd pay off, man. I think you could use him. He shows he can create. He can attack the basket. He can attack the basket. Even replay a little point a little bit, man. I think I would like to see more Maxey in the game.
He's fast and high energy. Y'all know I've been on Maxey campaign for a minute because I just like the energy that he brings. And I thought the energy that he brought tonight was really good. In like 15 minutes, he had
his first stretch, he was good. The second stretch, he ain't really do too much.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but to me, it's all about getting comfortable. Just a comfort level that a young player gets to a certain point in their NBA career and really feels like, yo, I could bang with these dudes. I could play. I'm not scared of missing shots or making mistakes. I think that's the number one thing that most people got to get over in any business, really, is that to be confident. And if you make a mistake, I could go out there and fix it, especially in sports. Sometimes when your leash is short for a young player, you turn the ball over once and then you miss 2 shots, you might get yanked. So that's always in the back of your head. But if you let him play, let him do his thing, I think Maxey could do his thing, man. I think he could give us some real productive minutes come playoff time, some energy. He flying around, lose balls and all that. He could tighten his defense up and stuff, obviously, but he a high, just like the same way them young boys from the Nets was giving all that high energy and flying around the court and all this stuff like that. And even though they necessarily wasn't that good, just the energy and the activity sometimes causes problems.
Yeah, as long as they don't stick Paul George, because Paul George.
Yeah, I don't know what made them put him on Paul George.
But Doc Rivers did.
But that's Ethan's point, though. But that's Ethan's point. What would Doc say? What was his reason?
Doc said in his post game today, he talked about how impressed he's been with Tyrese keeping himself ready along with the low minute group. But he said he tells Maxey that the rookies they're going to have to win a game for them either in the playoffs or in the season. So just be ready. So he's been impressed with Maxey. So he's seeing what we're seeing out there.
Okay, but I mean, all right, but y'all both Ben can't, and I'll listen to the pregame and all that, and they were saying how Ben is campaigning, and everybody knows now Ben wants to be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Right. So if that's the case, why don't you wait until very late in the game to get on Paul George when he was cooking pretty much?
Because you go by what the coach is calling up. But to your point, I'm irritated by it too. I'm irritated by Ben and Embiid. Stop politicking. Play ball and let it get played. Let it go how it go. I'm tired of both of them politicking for that. Stop politicking for personal stuff.
James Harden did the same thing before he got hurt.
I don't care what they did, but I'm just saying
that's what players do.
No, I don't want them. I want them focusing on us winning as a team. I don't want Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons try to politic, and everybody know I'm okay with Ben where he is right now until we lose, and then I'm going to rip him again. But Ben Simmons, to me, I don't want to hear you politicking for that because you're not adequate enough scoring wise. You want to say, oh, well, my defense is this, that. No, I don't want to hear you say that. If I say this as a person, as a fan and watching it, and I want to say it, let me say that. You don't say that because you're not doing what people want you to do. So that's what I'm saying about Ben, and same thing about Embiid. I don't want to hear you talking about why you're a better MVP than Joker. You just go out and you play and let yourself get voted, and be at games and let yourself get voted. That's something that kind of irked me today. Just like it's too much of that on his team.
Beat his chest for MVP. B should be in the talk though. I mean, he ain't got to beat his chest. He's in the talk.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He was beating his chest.
They both have been.
Yeah,
and I'm okay. The first time, but after you do it 2 or 3 times, then I'm like, it's too much.
I agree with that.
And
let me say something. Let me say something too, real quick, because I got my fault. I got on.
And you just said something, but go ahead.
But no, but I wanted to cover something about this. Is my thing about Mike Scott, like when we even what y'all talking about the young people, right? It's like Paul Reed. I mean, Paul Reed played 2 minutes. He got 2 boards. Mike Scott played what? 18 minutes and got 3 boards
and play like trash.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, and even when Reed was in the game, maybe he don't understand it. I know Doc said he don't know the plays or something. But like when I'm looking, like when Reed's setting the pick and then he's out there for the 3, they not passing him the ball. They throwing it to Mike Scott every time and he breaking.
Because he's always open.
Mike Scott was wide open the whole game.
Saying, they don't even attempt to let. It's kind of like they giving him the rookie treatment. Like, all right, kind of like how they did how they did Maxey a little bit. Like it's like it seemed like because like that game. What was it against Utah? I mean against Denver when Maxey dropped like 40 something points, 38 points or whatever. After that, it seemed like Doc reeled him in some like, hey, like don't shoot so much, or don't, you know what I mean? And they try to make him more of a playmaker, passer and stuff. Like, stop reeling the young boys in. If they can cook, let them cook.
That's my thing too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Y'all don't understand my frustration with Ben. It's up to here with Ben Simmons. My frustration with Ben Simmons. When you happy with like 12 points and trying to hype yourself to get Defensive Player of the Year, you should be a 24-point a game scorer, man. That's what frustrates me. You get it. 12 and you want Defensive Player of the Year. You want these awarded accolades. I care less about them. That frustrates me.
It irritates me too.
He'll never get better because everybody keeps patting the guy on the back, man. And you never get better by they doing that.
He will. Watch he get better in his contract year when he went that Supermax. Watch all of a sudden he's shooting a mid-range shot.
No, it's hard to get better when you don't have moves.
I agree, but watch when it's time for that new contract. Watch
he gonna play like he did 2 weeks before the All-Star.
Yes,
he gonna play the whole year like he did 2 weeks for the All-Star game.
Watch miraculously.
What was funny about the game was when because I do want to talk a little bit about the game. the boy Zubac. Remember how he had like he was dominating us when we played the Clippers a couple of weeks ago. Well, when I'm about to call him Shaq, when Embiid was in there, that whole dominating performance that he had before, he couldn't match Embiid at all. Embiid really played a solid game, start to finish. I mean, and his jump shot was on. Remember when he first came back from the injury? For some reason his jumper was coming up short a lot and was bricking a lot. Now you see that the jump shot is coming back to form, and so we're seeing how he was before he got injured. So hopefully now, I do think we should let me ask y'all this question. Do y'all think Doc should sit him a few games down the stretch?
Bede?
He probably won't because Bede's still chasing MVP. So,
I mean, but
he'll get MVP if you sit out too many more games.
He can't. As long as the Nets keep winning, he can't because we realize
what's more important, the MVP or the being healthy going into the
first place.
It looks like all the other teams are doing that.
The most important, that's the most important thing. I agree with you.
I mean, Bede just set out like 50 games already. How many more games he got to sit out?
Yeah, Bede is. I mean, listen. If anything, like you said before the other night, Tim, but we get out to an early lead and we leading hot, we leading by a lot in the fourth quarter. You can start, telling off his minutes a little bit, but we're going to have to get first place. As long as the Nets keep winning, we got to keep winning. And like Wayne said, if you notice, the announcer who was, if you listen to ESPN broadcast, which I did, because I got a problem with all
Me too.
the Bulls. So I listened to the ESPN broadcast. It was kind of nice hearing Vince Carter. I guess it's his new. I could tell he was still kind of new, but
it was like his first talk.
It was. You could tell he was still kind of fresh, so you let him ride. But it was funny at one point he actually forgot the boy name. Did y'all peep that when he was
he like you?
Yeah, he's like
He was like, I wanted to come in and work with you.
And work with the great you. I said,
I was like, oh man, he ain't never boy. I didn't know his name either.
Me either. But I came to find out that the boy he's one of the voters for the MVP. And he was one of the things he mentioned, which I could tell him personally. I don't know, what the other voters are leaning to, but he kept mentioning that Bede missed a lot of games, and you could hear Vince kind of campaigning for Bede a little bit. He kept saying, oh man, will he do this and he do that, and the boy kind of kept mentioning that a little bit. So I don't know where he leaning. It sounded like he was going to give Steph Curry a vote because he mentioned Steph Curry name a couple times, but I mean. Is that should that 18 missed games, should that go against Bede in the MVP vote?
I mean, it is if the Joker continues to play and not because right now he hasn't missed any games. If he continues to play all the games, then it is going to hurt Embiid. But if he
didn't miss one game,
no.
Only thing
that's impressive.
That is impressive.
Only thing I'll put with that is, where's your team at? Like, I mean, now this is one thing I actually think kind of goes against Embiid is the Sixers was winning when he was out.
I was about to say that.
But but it's like if a team is maintaining while you're out, then it's like, I mean, how valuable really? I mean, not taking away from your value, but like they can it's still a good team without you. Mm-hmm. Like to your point, Ephraim, and I know this is where you're going with it. If Steph Curry is not playing with Golden State, they ain't winning jack squat.
Trash.
You knew he was walking that in there.
You know that's where he was going. But I kind of agree with that to a point. But then a game like tonight shows you the value of Embiid, because there's no way in the world the Sixers were winning this game without Embiid. No way they were going to win that game against the Nets without Embiid.
What if Jamal Murray being out and they start losing with Joker in the game?
Because listen, why are you
number 5 in the West with Joker and Murray? They were like number 5 and number 4, right?
But I'm saying, what if they drop some games?
Nobody can do it by themselves, though. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, I'm just saying the optics of LeBron. It's the optics of it.
LeBron.
Yeah,
I mean, listen. Go ahead, Ethan.
No, I was just going to say that I think the guy, LaMarcus Cousins' NBA career might be almost over.
Oh, you mean DeMarcus Wayne? No, all right. Like, no.
Yo, we about to check. We about to check Rock.
He looked terrible. Did he look terrible out there?
Was he on the court?
Yeah, he looked terrible.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, he not. I don't know if I'll be shocked if he get any legit playoff minutes.
Oh, hey, wait, Tim. I gotta say, we do miss Dwight Howard.
Yeah. When y'all was hating on me.
Listen, bro, them rebounds he grabbed, because when we don't got no big man in that game, I mean, if we had Tony Bradley, it'd be different.
Yeah.
But when you ain't got no big man in the game, and that's when it started opening up for them to hit them threes, and Patterson was hitting these threes, and then we ain't got no big man in the middle. So everybody got to like jump down in that middle to stop the penetrate when they penetrate. Everybody got to stop down there. And Patterson was wide open, knocking down open shots.
Yeah, that boy, I'm about to call him Ruben Patterson. Patrick Patterson. And then he was averaging 5 points a game.
I'm saying though, but he like a career 2 point a game. He's had some decent. He had some decent careers.
He blacked out on us. He blacked out on us today though. I mean, the whole team at one point just started cooking. I mean, even the bull Reggie Jackson was off from everywhere but three.
Yeah,
he was the people stats. He was 4 for 13 overall, but he was 4 for 7 from three.
That's where they had Ben sticking.
He was stroking from three. Like, But I mean, they're a good, pretty much great 3-point shooting team. They said, I think is 6 players on a team are shooting over 40% from three.
Yeah,
that's
a tough out.
I think the Bull Morris is shooting like 50%.
Yeah, it's close to 50. It's like 48. It's like 48%.
He actually did a decent job on Embiid, considering.
They doubled every time he got the ball. Morris.
Yeah, he had a lot of help. He had a lot of help with him.
Yeah, and that's where it comes to like
I want to
about Ben Simmons. Like if you when you
you agreeing with me? You agreeing with me now?
No.
Hold on.
Well, first of all, you already know because you argued about me because I sent in the text board.
You agreeing with me? Go ahead. I want to hear it. Hold on. Let me get comfortable.
This game,
Let me get comfortable. Hold on.
I agree. This is what I've consistently said about Ben. In games like this is when I need him to be more aggressive. And the key point of this game that really pointed to that to me was he had the ball. It was no big man back, and he had a chance to drive to the basket, but instead he swung it to Thibault for a crucial 3-pointer that Thibault bricked. Why is Thibault the one taking this shot in a tight game down the stretch? Thibault's not a shooter. So if Ben's passing it to a shooter, I'm like, okay, you're giving it to the shooter, the dude that's supposed to shoot and hit that. But you're throwing it to Thibault. No, you take that to the basket, and if you get fouled, you get fouled, and make sure you hit your foul shots, which he didn't do again.
He has no confidence in his offensive game.
He don't.
Ben got less confidence in his game than I do. That's the sad part.
That's why he gets so mad.
But it was a comment made earlier, and I wanted to bring this up that B made post game, right? And Wayne said he made it before. I never heard him say this before, or I've been all over it. I didn't like it. He said, and I'm trying to say it as closely as he said it. He said that he could be in a post and dominate all day, but I don't think that's how the game should be played. So pretty much I like to shoot my jump shots and my 3-pointers and blah, blah, blah. But I could be down low dominating, but I just don't want to. That's how it sounded to me. I don't know if that's what he meant, but from the words that he used, it sounded like he was saying, I could dominate like Shaq if I wanted to, but I really don't.
Well, you know what he said before, and this is why I'm curious as to what exactly he said, because what he said before was when Shaq and them was ripping him last year about, he should be down in the paint and doing this, that, and other. And he was saying the way that they call the game now, you can't do that. He was saying they don't allow you to bully like that. They start calling calls. They don't let you play physical like that. So that you have to. So now I'm not sure if that's what he said again when you heard him. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I remember him saying last year. So it was kind of similar to me, like he was saying, like he has to play more of the outside game because they don't favor the big man in there like that.
I remember that comment. And to a degree, there's a lot of truth to that. So I'm not completely disagreeing. But this was a total different comment from what I heard today. Okay. He was just saying almost that he could if he wanted to. He just don't really want to. I mean, let's take the comment on face value for him saying that, because I'm pretty sure I want to get the exact quote. I'm looking for it now. But if that's the case, how do y'all feel about that?
I think
I'm not mad at no MVP of the league right now as far as him not wanting to physically abuse you. Because if you in the post all the time, that's taxing, that's wear and tear on your body. So if he can mix it up, most of the time he's down low. But if he also want to step out and hit those elbow jumpers and hit a 3 every once in a while, I don't have a problem with that. You're not down there. You don't know the physical tear that has if you banging and banging and banging. That's because he's so dominant. He is dominant. Yes, he's bigger than everybody, but it's taxing on the body. It just is.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that, but at the same time, it's also taxing on your opponent. You're the biggest dude out there.
What? That's why I have to, but see, I kind of agree with both of y'all, but that's why I got to know exactly the context, exactly what he said, because this is one thing too. Like that's it. Like even against the Nets, remember it was like he was selling more for the outside, and it was against the Nets and against who was that he was playing with when Boban was on the team, and it was like selling for the outside shots. But then later in the game, when he started attacking the inside and getting the foul calls, it was different. But if you're talking about him attacking inside and going power ball like that, and they're grabbing and hitting him, and they're not giving him the calls in certain situations, that's even more frustrating and more taxing. And then you also looking at down the stretch. Now he's going to be tired and wore down. You know what I'm saying? Like to Tim's point. So I think B's strongest asset is when, like in a game like tonight, when you got these smaller guys on you, set up like I thought Vince Carter made an excellent point. You set up at the foul line where it's hard, where you can see more of the court if they come and trap and double teaming you, and you can pass it or you can shoot over those smaller guys. Yeah. Brett Brown used to have him playing in that post on that corner all the time, and I think that's why he used to get plucked and turn the ball over his mouth.
I'm interested. You know what? I'm interested to see how Joel plays during the playoff basketball when they probably do a little more like they did tonight, trap him faster and quicker to get the ball out of his hand. Don't let him sit there and operate. I'm interested to see how he responds to that.
Well, I mean, it might make a little difference if he got Tobias out there too. Like, I mean, right now, like who was he going to swing it to? You know, Tobias is a big time scorer for us.
Ben's our big three, though, right? That's the other part of the big three.
He's not the
big
scorer.
Three. Dennis Rodman was a part of the big three.
Exactly.
Everybody used him for scoring. So stop.
No, it was Tony Kukoc.
Tony Kukoc was the four. It was
what? You putting Tony Kukoc over Dennis Rodman on that team?
Stop. As far as scoring.
Yeah, but we're not talking about scoring. We talking about as a player. Big three.
So next week, George Hill's supposed to be making his debut with the Philadelphia 76ers. When I went back over Ben's career the last 4 years with the Sixers, there's never been a good or great point guard that he played with. The best one was pretty much TJ McConnell. The only point guards that we had on our team was somebody named Demetrius Jackson, Trey Burke, Raul Neto. That's it. So this, even though
TJ.
That's what I said. TJ McConnell,
okay,
Demetrius Jackson, Trey Burke, and Raul Neto. Those are the only true point guards that played with Ben Simmons. So he's finally playing with a legitimate point guard. So to me, he never had the competition. This is the first time that Ben is actually going to have a little bit of competition, not as far as his job is concerned, but to say, oh, somebody can actually create offense just as good or even better than I can. So I want to see how if Ben is going to step up his game, knowing that he's going to be actually be competing with somebody as a distributor.
What makes you think he's such a great point guard?
He's a better. Do you know the four people I just named? Are you trying to say he's not better than TJ McConnell, Demetrius Jackson, Trey Burke?
I mean, TJ McConnell kind of.
TJ might be a better point guard than him.
Stop. No,
bro.
No.
TJ
listen, hold on with this. I mean, listen.
All right,
he's a nice player. I'm not judging. I watched him play.
So you saying he's garbage?
He's okay. Dude,
he was with the Bucks.
He averaged 3 assists for his career.
He's averaged 11.
He never. I don't think he ever had more than like 4 assists in a season.
So Tim, I mean, let me ask you this: why do you think he's gonna make Ben like why do you think his play is gonna make Ben's offensive game like explode?
I'm sorry, one season he had 5.
What is your reasoning for that?
That why he can make Ben's because he can create for Ben. I don't think we never had a point guard that can actually create for Ben or
create for Ben. I mean, and Ben is going
creator though.
Say it again.
I mean, but is he really a creator?
So y'all just dismissing him as being
no. I'm not even. I mean, but before we get, you can tell me Chris Paul is coming. How is that going to create for? I mean, so it's going to make Ben do what?
It'll give him easier shots to make, things that he can make like layups, dunks.
Can he make layups?
No, stop. See, now y'all.
Let's go to
this is extreme.
See, Tim is making it hard for me to politic for Ben because you going a little bit overboard.
No, because y'all weigh everything. Now y'all acting like Ben is this like he's nothing.
Yo,
I didn't say Ben
had
was
nasty though. That dunk Ben had was nasty. I can't hate on that.
Ben's offense is Ben's offense.
Yeah,
so I mean, now and I will say this though, right? This is one thing I would have liked to see more of this game. When Doc came, it was Ben and what's the young boy name? Maxey. And so when they was trying to set it up, they set them up in a pick and roll type situation, whereas though the bigger guy was playing Ben, so then they set the pick. So then Patterson was stuck with sticking Maxey, and you had the smaller guy on Ben in the post, and they gave it down there, and Ben got the and one finish. So I mean, I think more of that. If you have a legit guard type out there that could play, I think you could run more of that out there too. And I do think George Hill can shoot, though. I think that's the difference when you have a George Hill in there. But
I mean, my thing with George Simmons is I'm not trying to shoot your whole like your promise of Ben Simmons becoming a 20-point a game scorer, Tim. I'm honestly not trying to shoot that down.
Yeah, you are, but
my thing is, you're telling me that he's going to set Ben up for better looks. I mean, unless you're telling me like Wayne is saying, they're going to be hitting up a vicious pick and roll game where Ben going to be catching oops and getting right at the basket layups. Other than that, how many times you really going to be able to do that with Joel Embiid taking up most of the space in the middle? So he's still going to have to hit a mid-range. If you're telling me Ben had a mid-range and that's all he had, even a small 8-foot jump shot, then I would be like, okay, maybe I can see where you're going. He could probably hit him. He's not doing that though. So I don't see is nothing that's going to create so much more offense for Ben Simmons. I don't see that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna save this video, save this podcast, so we can play it back.
Talking about Ben having better offensive, Ben having better shooting for like 5 years.
4, 16, 21. All right, y'all. Before we get out of here, I want to go around the NBA real quick.
Wait. I want to ask y'all something about the Sixers though.
Go ahead.
Should Korkmaz be starting over Steph Curry?
Yes.
No,
and not because he's not playing better. I'm just saying right now he's a very good spark off the bench.
But as a
you
starter,
can have
he's scoring 20
Maxey.
and 19 points as a starter.
Maxey could be coming off the bench.
So
I mean, Seth could even come off the bench and he'll be against the bench players. He might get better looks, or maybe he got
benching.
Maybe he can take balls off the dribble better off the bench. But as a starter, I like Korkmaz as that spot up shooter. If you got Korkmaz, Danny Green out there spot up shooter,
you making Tim sick.
Hey Tim,
him and Ephraim.
I'm actually, believe it or not, you actually persuading me a little bit on the Korkmaz starting because I don't like him playing as the primary focus on the second with that second team. I think if anything, if you put them with a bunch of good players, you know how Wayne they surround you with a bunch of good players and you make you look good. That's
I don't know. I'm usually on your team, so I don't know how that works.
If you surround him with a bunch of good players with the starters, and then he can just focus on just catching and shooting, Ben gonna find him because Ben don't want to shoot. Then Embiid do his thing when he gets doubled. That actually may not be a bad idea. And then you have Steph coming off the bench and just being a sniper playing against that second unit because clearly he struggles against. But I even like
Seth with his ball handling and driving and stuff better against the bench than I do against starters.
Yeah, so I mean, I would try it out before I commit to it full time, but I would try it out.
I mean, I can't knock that neither. I can't. I mean, listen, y'all know I don't want to say I'm completely off this Seth Curry bandwagon, but I haven't been on it for quite some. I'm walking next to it. Like I'm holding it, Joy. I got my hand on his bandwagon, and I'm walking next to his bandwagon. So I'm not completely off, but I ain't on it neither because he don't give me reason to.
I think you walking next to an empty wagon because ain't nobody on that.
Yeah,
it's me. It's me, Steph,
and his mama,
Dell, and his mama. Yeah, it's all that. And his sister
and Doc Shorter.
Yes.
And wait, and the kids. What y'all said? And the kids.
The kids jumped off. They on Uncle bandwagon. They on Uncle bandwagon.
They was Steph.
My boy, go ahead, Tim. What you say around the league?
I would say Steph White went back to Paul George, but no.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Not Danny Green. What do y'all think about the crowd? Did y'all have any problem with the crowd booing KD? Because
no,
they was like KD sucks because
KD sucks. No.
Stephen A. Smith got on the radio or got on his podcast saying the Philly fans are going to regret this. I'm like, no, we not. This is what we do.
Get off his soapbox.
Yeah.
You know what I think? That had more to do with.
What's that?
I don't think it had to do with them saying KD stinks and nothing like that. I think it had everything to do with we wanted to see this matchup. Yeah. We wanted to see KD and Kyrie against the Sixers. So it's like, you going to play against Minnesota without Cat the night before. and then sit out against the Sixers.
Yeah, that
This
was
is what everybody wanted to see. You against the Sixers and you and Kyrie against the Sixers. So I felt the same way they did. You suck. Like, why are you sitting out like a chump?
I don't know. I want to see Bede against Joker twice, and he didn't play.
Yeah, but I mean, what? He was injured, right?
First time he wasn't.
No, the first time he was too. They said back tightness.
No, the first time they said I'll be
okay, he was injured too.
No, the first time was that with the COVID protocol.
The COVID situation. We only had like, remember that's what we call.
No, B could have played. B didn't have the B wasn't part of the COVID thing.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
They said he had back tightness.
Oh, okay. Because he was 39. What you going to score 39 points that game?
I mean, I agree with you. I wanted to see him play against Joker too.
That's when Maxey got off, right?
Yeah,
Maxey got off. Yeah,
right.
But we know what it was that game. The Sixers was trying to set it up to make the league cancel the game. So then once you put him as being out, the league played him.
All right, let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask a question real fast.
All right, go ahead.
And the only reason I'm asking this question is because they was debating it on First Take, right? So I don't like really what these other dudes' opinions be. So I'll go to y'all because I trust y'all basketball knowledge. They were saying that Steph Curry is in legit conversation with Magic and Isiah. Do y'all agree with that?
No.
Steph.
Because he's really a shooting guard with the point guard title.
Nah, I wouldn't put him up there yet.
Ethan?
He's creeping up into that. I don't know how many people still around that watch Magic and Isiah.
That's true too.
Magic
Isiah, truth be told, Zeke was the reason I started watching basketball. When I started watching the Detroit Bad Boys, the Pistons, that was my favorite team as a young boy growing up. That's my favorite player. Is he getting in that realm? I mean, yeah, he getting in the talks.
Tim, what you think? You a hater, but go ahead.
Even though it's kind of positionless this year, this basketball is a little
this
different.
era, yeah.
Zeke to me is not being a hater. He might be in that, but he may be in it. He may not there yet, but he might be traveling on the same bus. Just may not be. He's not in first class, if anything. We're gonna do airplane. He's not in first class.
I'm telling you though, I gotta be honest with you. The KD thing, if it wasn't for the KD thing, he would be there. The KD thing,
he only have one title.
You don't know that.
I don't know about that.
You don't know that.
Yeah,
I agree with that a lot.
I kind of agree with that point too.
That's why I was so mad. Me as a Steph fan, I was actually irked when KD came there. I was more mad at Draymond because Draymond the one who girl and cried on the phone to get him there, and then you're gonna call. Then you're gonna be the same reason. You the dude who was the same reason got him there. It was the same reason why he left. That whole thing irritated.
That is something.
But
that's your man's Draymond.
I do agree with Ethan with that. I think it tarnished his legacy slightly. With that being the case, even if he did, let's say he won one more championship without KD there, hypothetically speaking, I still don't think he's quite there yet with Magic and Zeke. The thing that irritated me, though, I heard this what a lot of people forget. Max Kellerman, he always goes back and starts talking about how Steph had a bad finals out against Cleveland in those last couple games, like game 6 and 7, which was true. Steph didn't play good at all. But everybody forget about Tragic Johnson, right? When Magic came up lame and they was calling Magic Tragic Johnson.
I thought it was something else, but go ahead.
No. That was because he came up lame. He came up lame in the playoffs. I think it might have been the finals against Boston, I think. And everybody was coming at Magic. But my thing is, most players had their moments where they don't perform as well as they should. And like, I think this, and it's for me, Ethan started talking about LeBron. This day and age, they hold everything against you to the minutest of details. Like it's never you miss 2 game winners in a span of 2 weeks, and they'll bring it up forever. Like, oh, and in this game he couldn't close against Washington. He couldn't. So to me, it get a little too carried away about the over criticizing of athletes because of the media cycle and how it is, and the constant everyday sports. LeBron, Curry, Harden, KD it's the same thing over and over again. So I think it get a little bit overly critical on both games. But with that being said, I agree with Tim. He on the same plane, but he on first. He's not in first class. What's the
let me ask you this real quick.
And that what you said with Ben when he scored the 1 point, and you held it against him for 3 years,
right?
Yo, let me ask you this.
Let me speak my point. Let me hold that thought. The only reason why I held it against Ben, you know why I held it against Ben? Because I expected. This is what I told y'all. I said after he scores the 1 point, I said if he don't come back the next year with a decent offensive game, with a much improved offensive game, then he will never get better. And that's why I always bring up that one, because he did. He never upped his offensive game, and that's told me a lot. Go ahead.
You know what he upped though that year? He upped the release of all the videos of him shooting jump shots when Tim and Wayne got all excited. But listen,
he did.
He wrote me in that one off season. He did. He did.
Talking about point guards, right? Are there any more point guards in the mold of the Isiah and the Magics? I can only think of one. That's Chris Paul.
CP3, yeah.
That might be it.
I think Rondo
what
without
about
the offense.
Ja Morant?
Rondo without the offense.
I think Ja Morant is
Rondo.
Ja Morant, he averaging 7, 8 assists a game.
I gotta look and see De'Aaron Fox. They still young though. You talking about guys that been in the league like 2-3 years.
I mean, if you speaking of point guards, Russell Westbrook. I don't know if y'all noticed what he's been doing.
He's been playing well. He's been playing well lately. He has.
What's up with the ball boy? Is he play small forward? He play point guard. LaMelo.
Ja Morant for his career is averaging 18.7 assists.
That's good.
That's good. LaMelo on that tip. LaMelo kind of a throwback, almost a Magic Johnson, maybe a little bit more athletic.
He is. That's true. That's true. That can shoot the ball.
Yeah. LaMelo.
So I mean, we got some young guys. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we forget they kids. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes be like 19, 20, like 2021. You know, all of us in here, except, you know, well, a couple of us in here got older kids. You know what I'm saying? And when they still kids, like even when you see them when they like 19, think of how goofy sometimes our kids act, you know what I'm saying, when they like 19, 20, stuff like that. So now you talking about these guys that now they're put in this position with all this pressure on them. They're still kids. Like you got to get them time to mature sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. I guess go ahead, Tim.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought on that topic because I'm about to wrap it up, and I just want to say one thing before I do. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get the last word.
But I would just think about what Ethan's saying. Ethan made a good point. It is a lot of positionless basketball now, though. I think the game has kind of changed a lot. So you are even when a lot of these younger boys get older, you still not gonna have the traditional. Like it's even like the small forward position has changed drastically since the 90s, 80s, and 90s. The small forward position now, most of the small forwards could run point. Look at Tobias Harris. He could bring the ball down and facilitate and all that. The only one who was doing that back in the day was Pippen in the 90s. Yeah, it was very rare you saw small. So most of the positions in basketball outside
Paul Pierce a little bit.
Yeah, Paul Pierce. That's what I'm saying. But like it was very few far and in between. Now it's almost on every team.
It's on everybody.
Roster, you want to get that dude. So
all right, this week the bull LaMarcus.
Yo, hold on a second, real quick. Hold up. De'Aaron Fox is averaging 25 points and 7 rebounds. 7 assists this season.
I didn't know that.
He having a good season.
Yo, and shooting 47%.
Ever since he cut his hair. What was he averaging last year?
No, but that's what I'm just saying that point, like to what we remember when I was saying before about De'Aaron Fox and Ja Morant, like this boy averaging 25 points.
See, but what was he averaging last year, Wayne?
21.
He keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Keeps getting better.
Yeah.
It's not 16, 15, 14, right?
But I didn't say that he had better potential than Ben Simmons. I didn't say Ben Simmons.
I didn't mention Ben. I didn't mention Ben
because
at all.
you're putting them numbers out.
I didn't mention Ben.
I'm just saying De'Aaron Fox sometimes he don't get enough props. I didn't know he was scoring 25 points a game, honestly. I didn't know he was scoring that much neither.
But
that's your point to what you're saying about Isiah Thomas. This boy, this season, he's averaging 25 points a game and 7 assists a game.
That's how many steals?
I don't know. It's on the basic joint where it just showed that stuff. I didn't go to the.
That is impressive. I always liked him coming out of college, but that's impressive. I didn't know he's averaging 25. Go ahead, Tim. What was you going to say? What foolishness did you have to end the show?
He averaging 1.5 steals.
That's good. That's real good.
All right, the boy LaMarcus Aldridge. He retired this week because of an irregular heartbeat. He played 15 years in the NBA, and he has 7 All-Star appearances. But let me make sure, would he go down as a Hall of Famer to you? Because I say no.
I say no too.
I say he probably may go into like a Ring of Honor.
He might have all the numbers though. But see, sometimes playing where you play at, and like these guys always say, because he played for Portland for over 10 years or something like that. You always got these guys that say be loyal to your franchise, but your franchise ain't loyal to you. Yeah. Now you stay there and you don't win anything. You know what I mean? So he's gonna be one of them guys that everybody talks about. Oh, he chasing the ring, or he doing this, but he's gonna be one of them guys. Now all his accolades, he's not going to get the big accolades probably that he should, because he actually was a decent player.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say Hall of Fame, but I didn't think that Tracy McGrady would have been Hall of Fame. I ain't gonna hold you that kind of. Because sometimes when you're talking about numbers, especially when you're talking about like compared to older era guys, like their numbers are going to be bigger now because the game is a little bit different. But the one thing I think about LaMarcus Aldridge is it's a shame the league changed up during his career. Like it was more of a big man's type game at first, and then it drastically went the other way. It became a smaller man game, but to his credit, he developed his game up, whereas though his mid range got better and everything else. So, but I don't think that he's Hall of Fame material.
You're right, Wayne. That's a great point, because I do remember for a hot minute I really liked him a lot. Like he was that dude in the West. He was one of those top dudes in the West, and then I think he had an injury too, but then he kind of just fell off the face of the earth real fast. And then he went to San Antonio, kind of rejuvenated a little spark. It was like had a spark when you started. Now you just garbage. No, it wasn't that bad, but it was like a little spark.
That's like DeMarcus Cousins.
But like you said, yeah, that's true. But like you said, Wayne, the game I think definitely changed up on him, and it put him at a disadvantage. Where now it's a 3-point game. Steph Curry came into the league, started bombing away. You had
podcast he mentioned.
No. But even Pioneers, like a lot of people forget about the bull, Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas was actually like one of the beginning pioneers of those long range threes, if y'all remember. Gilbert used to shoot them joints all the time, not to the level or the consistency that
volume.
The volume that Steph and like Dame and them, but he kind of started that a little bit. Gilbert was a sniper.
Agent Zero
was a sniper. A lot of people forget about Gil, but
yeah.
But like you said, that was that transition. So I mean, I feel bad for him that he had to retire before. But what's up with the Bull? Vince act like he's still trying to play. Did y'all hear Vince in the joint when the Bull said he said, "Who knows? All these injuries, you might get a call." And Vince is like, "Well, I know how to get healthy. I know how to get in shape real fast."
But did you? Well, you hear why he said what made him retire? When a guy asked him, he wasn't saying like because he got tired of playing. He said COVID.
Yeah,
he said COVID. He was like COVID, and then it was like,
Vince must not have no family. He must because he played ball for 22 years, and then he went right from playing ball to the.
He probably got a couple kids that's grown now. It's like, well, no point.
No, I think I know he had a little daughter at one time.
So he don't see her. He don't really like being around her. And that, like, I mean, no, you know what?
She grown now.
She probably grown, got her own family.
Probably so, but at some point I'll be like, "Dad, boy, like, what you want to just sit down?" Maybe he wanted people gotta stay active or something. I don't know.
But Sixers, they went on to beat the Los Angeles Clippers 106-103, and we go play your squad on Monday, the Golden State Warriors.
The chef.
So,
Steph going to sit out. Watch all of a sudden his ankle going to be.
I'm telling y'all,
all these star players keep sitting against us.
No, listen,
but this is a good thing. I don't care.
I'm telling y'all.
I want to see the comp. I want us to be tested.
Me too.
I do. I agree with Ethan. I want to see this tested. I don't know why you keep Tim campaign. Y'all got to see. If y'all see our text thread, it's unbelievable how giddy Tim get every time somebody hurt. Like, yes, like even with other team players, like when Donovan Mitchell got hurt, Tim like, yeah, good. I hope he dies.
That's
please.
Not true.
No,
I said a prayer for his
family. You was ecstatic when Jamal Murray got hurt.
Yes, like Jimmy
I'm
get
like,
hype
what in the
watch-
world is wrong with you?
Like we ain't even gonna play him unless we get to the finals. Why you happy the ball hurt?
I wish them all the best. I wish them all the best. All right, y'all. We are out this joint. We'll see y'all Monday after the game. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to comment and subscribe.
Hold on. One more thing. I do think Ethan, no, real rap though. I was Golden State hot. We better be careful. We're gonna see Monday, but Golden State, then they done got hot, bro.
I can't wait to
Look
see
out.
Ben shut Draymond down and dunk on his
He
neck.
gonna stick Curry and shut Curry down.
No,
All right, y'all.
no,
Thanks for listening. We out.
Deuces.